Hi, and welcome to actioncorp TV. My name is Chris. I got Sean here next to us, and Craig in the director's booth, and we're going to do a kind of a short show for you tonight. But basically, in one of those shows where we kind of work out the bugs and make sure all our audio and video equipment is still working in our new location down here in Craig's basement. To start out the show, our very first thing we're going to talk about is we've got a couple of Xbox-related topics that are going to be, I think, some really new stuff that's really exciting and definitely stuff that Sean's been looking forward to hearing. So I'm going to let Sean take over and talk about the first of those, which is a brand new solderless Xbox mod chip.
Well, this sounds too good to be true, and I'm sure if anybody's followed the the story of my mod chip exposition with my Xbox and soldering the mod chip and it breaking my Xbox, now they've released, or they're getting ready to release, the Exodus mod chip, which is a solderless mod chip that actually is just a press-on to some solder pads inside the Xbox on the main board. We have a picture here that'll show you what the chip looks like. It's just a screw-down chip, basically, that fits on top of your main board. Like I said, no soldering is required. You can see the chip here. It's flashable, so you can upgrade the chip to the new BIOSes that are released to add new features to the Xbox. We're going to show a quick video clip of installation of the chip. If you pay attention during the video, you can see there's a light on the Exodus mod chip that flashes red if the chip is incorrectly installed and green if the chip is correctly installed. And you'll see the actual adjustment of that chip as the Xbox is on.
That's sweet.
That's all there is to it, and you can see how easy that's going to be. I'm sure this is going to be a big blow against Microsoft. They'll probably come after these guys pretty quick because it's going to be way, way too easy to modify your Xbox now to let you run these games and the released emulators. And they don't want you modding your Xbox, of course, because of the potential to play copied games. But you can see how easy that was. She just basically put the chip down on top of the main board and ran a screw through it to the main board itself, so it fastens the chip down. Once the light was green, she was done, and that was it. And she would then be able to go ahead and boot up her homebrew games and emulators. So,
hey, Sean, I had a question for you real quick about that particular mod chip. I noticed that there is what looks like some kind of a socket on the chip itself.
Yes.
What is that socket all about, and what does that let you do?
The socket is actually, there is an included flash ROM programmer that comes with the mod chip. That socket is actually where you interface the mod chip to the flash writer. The flash writer then plugs into your printer port or a parallel port on your computer, and then you can upload new BIOSes, new patches, new released versions of the Xbox BIOS.
And that's it there on the right there.
Yes, that's it. The 10-pin header that's up on the upper right-hand corner of the chip is what he's referencing there. So that's the Exodus mod chip. They're taking pre-orders now. It's exodusmod.com, and hopefully they'll be getting them shipped out, hopefully before Christmas, pending any kind of legal stuff that'll come after them. So
you're going to try to get in early on that and get one of those before they get shut down.
Yes, I'm going to pre-order my chip in the next few days. We've been waiting to see if there's going to be any developments come up against them, but everything seems to be going good. They have a very big mod chip manufacturer out of Asia that's backing them already. So they're going to be getting it out in the channels pretty soon. So I think me and I know a couple other people that are going to pre-order chips. So we should have something within a month or two. We should know something about this Exodus mod chip if it actually is as good as they say it is.
Fantastic.
So next up, we're going to do one more Xbox segment here. A lot of stuff happening in the Xbox world. And of course, I am the resident Xbox man here.
Xbox expert.
Yeah. So we've talked before about Linux has been ported to the Xbox, and they actually have gotten Linux up and running. Basically, SUSE Linux, if you pronounce it SUSE Linux, but SUSE Linux has been up and running on the Xbox for quite a while, and they've been doing, of course, porting apps and doing things, getting it to run on the Xbox. Well, now they have Windows 2000 running inside of Linux on the Xbox. They're probably using something like VMware, some kind of virtual machine that runs inside of Linux to emulate, x86 to run, DOS or Windows applications. But they actually have Windows 2000 running. So what we're going to show you here is a video clip of them playing an MPEG-4 encoded movie in Media Player in Windows 2000 on top of Linux in the Xbox.
Interestingly enough, I have to point out the fact that this is a old Commodore monitor that they have plugged in, and they're using an iMac USB keyboard.
Yes. Yes, with the USB adapter, you can use any USB keyboard or mouse on the Xbox, and it works just the same as a PC would.
So you can see they're watching an MPEG-4 or a DivX movie of The Matrix here. But what you'll see in a moment is the fact that this is actually playing in Windows Media Player inside of Windows 2000. So here you go. Very cool. There's a start menu. Legit. And now you see he kicks it out of the window, and this is running under Linux.
And now they're going to show you that it is legitimately running. He's going to pop the monitor around here and show you. This cable might look a little bit funny, but it's actually called an S-card. It's more of a European type of thing. They use European and Asian, but it's almost like an RGB type of monitor. And you can see the cable is running over to his Xbox. And of course, as is fashion with the guys from Linux, Xbox Linux, they always focus on tux right at the end here.
Yeah. Good old tux.
Yeah. So that's very big stuff. I mean, this shows you the power of the Xbox. It is basically a PC running in a black box that runs these games.
I'm amazed that the amount of emulation taking place. I mean, you're running Linux native on the Xbox, but then you're also running this kind of VMware emulation of Windows 2000 on top of that, and running a full-screen MPEG-4 DivX movie. I mean, that's a pretty powerful. What kind of chip does the Xbox have again?
It's just a Celeron. Some people say it is a Pentium 3, but it actually specs as being a Celeron 700 megahertz.
700
with 64 megahertz.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hey, you can almost see me. Aren't they emulating the CPU like the Intel? They're doing some kind of emulation for a PC on the Xbox, right?
They are doing no, because it is an x86 processor.
Well, yeah, but I thought there was some other thing they had to do to get it to run encrypted code.
Oh, was there something about Big Indian, Little Indian?
They aren't, as far as I know, they're not doing anything like that. Well, the recompile that they did of Linux is handling the issues with being Big Indian and Little Indian.
Okay.
So that's actually taking care of that. And in the recompilation of Linux, they patched that in the kernel to run basically the reverse bit order that Xbox has.
Okay.
So that's how they got around that. But that is up and running.
So is that like the only big thing about the Xbox that's different, that it has this reverse bit order from, say, a standard PC?
Yeah, besides the proprietary encryption that they're doing and the lock on the hard drive and the lock on the DVD player, everything else is basically standard PC parts. Of course, it's mounted differently and stuff like that. But yeah, it is standard, a real Intel Pentium chip in the box. So they're doing standard x86 stuff just like a regular computer.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. So next we're going to flip back to Chris here. I guess there's some new stuff coming out in OS X called iSync. And Chris is going to show us a little bit of that.
Okay. Basically, there's been a couple of new applications released recently for OS X for the Mac users, and it's all built around the digital hub strategy that Steve Jobs is introducing. And two of those, the first one has already been released earlier this month, and that was iCal, which is a calendaring application. Really great calendaring application, by the way, because it supports the ability to create and import calendars off the web. So, like, you can create a calendar, for example, and then publish that, and anybody in the world can go and get your calendar if you want them to. It's really neat. The other part of that is a new software application that was released today called iSync. And iSync kind of bridges the gap between, say, iCal and your mobile devices, such as an iPod, your Palm device, or even more importantly, and what the one they really tout is your cell phone. A lot of cell phones today have Bluetooth-enabled technologies in them, and macOS X supports Bluetooth natively. And now with iCal, you can import and export and synchronize your contacts between your computer and your phone effortlessly. And this is a big deal because if you've ever used a cellular phone, you know it's very difficult to input names and addresses and phone number and calendaring and contact information into these phones. Well, the great thing is now you can do that on your computer and then just via wireless Bluetooth use iCal to sync that data to your cell phone. You can do the same thing with your iPod, which now supports calendaring and contact information display, and your Palm OS device. I need to note, though, that the iSync software does not necessarily replace the Palm OS syncing software. You still have to have that installed in OS X. It basically becomes a conduit for the Palm OS syncing software to iCal and the built-in address book in OS 10. But that's a big deal because I think a lot of people are going to be wanting to move all their contact information to these OS 10 native applications because there's a lot more functionality there, and a lot of other third-party apps can conduit themselves into those core functions of the OS. So iSync, released today. It was released earlier. It's in beta, that's right. It is a beta, and probably will be released in full in the next month or 2 months. It's a fully functioning beta, and the final release will also be free, which is pretty typical of Apple's iApp strategy, where the application is pretty much free with any Macintosh computer. So you'll be able to download the final version here in the next month or so. I think it doesn't seem like a big deal, but I think it really is one of these critical applications that's going to down the line become a big deal and probably a core foundation of the operating system. The ability to sync all your mobile devices with a single button. You basically have all your mobile devices around your computer, maybe your iPod plugged into FireWire, you have your cell phone just sitting on your table, and you've got your Palm in its cradle, and you'll be able to click a button and have everything synchronized everywhere. There is one more feature about iSync I want to mention, and that is it has built-in backup and synchronization across multiple Macintoshes. Now, it requires that you have a .Mac account or access to your own private web server. But if you have either of those, you can actually synchronize contact information, calendar information, even files and backup information across multiple Macintoshes using iSync. So really neat functionality being built and being put into place here with new iSync application software available at apple.com. I'm going to go ahead and cut over to Sean, who's going to talk a little bit about a brand new movie trailer that just came out for an exciting new movie called The Ring.
This movie, I had just first been introduced to that in the past couple of days, the movie called The Ring. I'm a big horror movie fan, as I know there's a couple in the ranks of ActionCorp that really like horror movies. This looks like a very good suspense movie, a thriller with horror built into it. I don't know if it was going to be hardcore horror, but it looks very, very interesting. We have the new trailer that was up on the Apple website. We're going to run that for you here, and you can kind of get a feel for how creepy this movie seems like it's going to end up being.
Have you heard about this videotape that kills you when you watch it? You start to play it, and it's like somebody's nightmare. And as soon as it's over, your phone rings. And what they say is, you will die in 7 days. Katie told you she was going to die.
She told me. She said she didn't have enough time.
Did you say that I'm gullible?
No.
Easily rattled?
A little highly strung, maybe.
I watched the tape.
I'm not gonna get all worked up over some rumor. Show it to me.
Miss Keller, I'm bothered by these drawings. Why did you draw that house?
She told me to.
Who? Who told you to?
She shows me things.
Before you die, you see the ring.
The images on the tape are leading us somewhere.
Did she show you the horses?
Don't you understand, Rachel?
Tell me, miss. What is this you think you know?
Hello?
Before you die, you see the ring. You see the ring. Everyone will suffer. You see the ring. You saw it.
I don't know. This could be one of those movies that are going to build a lot of hype up around this, and it could end up being really, really good or just falling dead flat on its face. So we'll have to see how it is when it comes out to theaters. Looks like they're going to try to build a little bit of Blair Witch type of hype around it, saying that basically since you've seen the trailer now, you saw the ring. So now you're kind of pulled into it here. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here. We're going to cut over now back to Chris, do a little bit more Animal Crossing. We've been covering this quite a bit here in the last couple of shows on ActionCorp. It's a very, very interesting game. Has a lot of new features, a lot of things that are basically you've never seen in any other kind of game. So Chris is going to show some stuff up here that he's done in his city.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and cut over to my city, and you'll see good old Dip Dong. That's my character's name, Dip Dong, and he's in his house right now in the nice city of Domain, which is the name of my island. You can see this is the first floor of my new house. I've got some items collected. I don't have a second floor yet, but that's coming very soon. You'll notice my nice Apple branded shirt and hat. Okay, this is part of a really neat system built into Animal Crossing where basically you can customize and create your own patterns that you can put in several places, like on flags or signposts, your clothing or your umbrella, certain places like that. I'll go ahead and take a look downstairs real quick before I show you the rest of my patterns. I've got a lot of money here. I've got about $400,000 of money sitting right there waiting for me to pay off my house. This is a unique item I got from one of the characters. It's basically the Statue of Liberty. I'll turn it there so you can see it. Items like that give you luck in this game, which can help you find unique items. There's my goldfish that I found in the stream. I found this. I dug this up out of the ground. One of the other characters had hidden it somewhere, and I had to find it, and I did, so that was kind of cool. Go ahead, go upstairs. I want to show you something outside my house. In the last episode, you saw my cool Sonic door, which is right there. You also see now I've got this really cool painting of Megatron right next to my house that I made this. I basically edited an icon of Megatron I found online and created a texture of it, and I was able to later then purchase this signpost that I could place anywhere on the island, and it's called a, what did it say? It's called a signboard. And I can place that signboard just about anywhere and then take any of my patterns to the want. In fact, I can go ahead and paste another pattern. Here are all the patterns I have available to me that I've created. I've created a Chow, Lego brick, Sonic, which is on my door. I created an II from Monkey Ball, of course, Megatron, and my Apple logo. So, for example, if I wanted, I can put my Chow on that picture if I wanted to. Whoops, I did it wrong though. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. I gotta touch the sign to do it. They'll say, you want to post a design? And I'll say, sure. And I'll go ahead and switch it over to my Chow. And there we go. Now I got a picture of a Chow in front of my house. And these are not really hard to do. Basically all I did is I created a grid. All the images are 32 pixels by 32 pixels. And you just basically draw on. You've got like 16 different palettes to choose from. There's one of my boots, one of my characters in my town. I should probably put my umbrella on since it's raining. There we go. What else is kind of new? Let's see. Oh, I know. I can go show you Nookway. Tom Nook, who is the kind of the town grocer, started out in a little hut, and then he eventually upgraded his hut to a convenience store called Nook and Go, and now he's upgraded it to a full-fledged shopping center called Nookway. So he's got a lot more selection now, and this happens because I do a lot of purchasing and so forth. This is interesting. It looks like, oh, it's past 10 o'clock. That's right. He's closed. He won't be open until 9 a.m. next morning, so I can't go inside, unfortunately. What else is neat and new that I can show you? I don't know. There's so many things in this game. Because it's raining, there are a lot more chances for large fish to be found in the waterways. So let me go down here real quick and see if I can...
I'd like to see fish. I haven't seen fish in
Okay, I'll go ahead and try to fish one of these huge fish out of the ocean down here. See if there are anybody nearby. Fishing is actually quite simple once you learn there's a trick to it, basically. And once you know, okay, there's a nice big fish right there. This might be one of the big ones, actually. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. I'll put my fishing rod in my hand and throw it out. No, he's not going to go for it. Let me get a little closer. This is one of those big crustacean fishes, though. Got him. This sucker right here, $15,000. So I just made $15,000. Now again, like I said, that's a rare fish, and it only really typically occurs on rainy days like this. But that's a great way to make money. If it's ever raining, definitely go out fishing because you're going to make a lot of money that way. And I basically spent 2 hours fishing today because it's raining today in my town, and I've made a ton of money. And that's going to help me pay off my house and make upgrades and so forth.
Does it always rain all day?
It rains the entire day, apparently. At least it has for me. I mean, I've played 3 times today, and it's been raining all the time.
How many times has it rained since you've played the game?
This is the first time it's ever rained.
Okay.
It's today.
Okay.
Today, which is, as you can see, 9/28, Saturday at, I'm sorry, yes, the 28th of Saturday on 10:54 p.m. So it's been raining all day today on the 28th. On the 30th, Tom Nook is going to hold a raffle, and I don't know what's going to happen then, but I've got a whole bunch of raffle tickets back to my house, so hopefully I'll win something cool. Let's see, anything else interesting? I have a couple of money trees growing, but they're not mature enough yet to actually have money hanging from them. They do. There's also something else I've read about that I'm going to try. You can also plant, if you have a spare shovel, you can plant a shovel in one of those shiny spots you find on the ground, and it'll create a shovel tree. And I heard a rumor about some kind of, one of my characters told me about a golden shovel. So I don't know what that's about, but that might be interesting too. You can see all the other characters have umbrellas out. If I don't wear my umbrella when I talk to them, they'll pretty much berate me about the fact that I'm walking around without an umbrella.
You got some creepy looking characters in your town too.
Yeah. Actually, mine aren't nearly as bad as Craig's.
Well, when you live in a place called Ashland.
Yeah, Craig's town.
Go in a couple people's houses.
Go inside?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this person just went to sleep. I think this person just went to sleep too. I saw him walk inside. Oh no. Let's see if I can get in there. They're going inside. Let's see if I can follow. No, they went to sleep too. I knew that was going to happen. I can go up here though. I think Boots is out walking around, so I can go in his house. Oh, this is Blue Bear's house, I think.
So this is the character you actually took or moved to your island from Seth's island.
That's right. This character actually left Seth's island to come live in my island of domain. And what's interesting is that she talks about Mafia, which is Seth's character, all the time. Like, I'll talk to her and she'll say, hey, have you talked to Mafia recently? And all this stuff. She even showed me a letter one time that Mafia had written her. She showed it to me, and it was something that Seth had written. So all that data has been transposed.
So that is the big reason to buy a game like this.
Yeah, if you have friends playing it, it makes it so much more interesting because you can interchange information between those characters. Watch, I'll touch this guitar and it'll play my town's theme song. It sounds a lot like Christmas Carol or whatever. I made it sound that way. It used to sound like something else. I can't remember what it was.
It sounds like the first
Go by the train station.
Yeah, Noel, that was it.
See if that guy's there.
Oh, the KK guy? Okay. See here? Right up here. Yeah, there he is. He says, cool, baby. I'm always into catching hipsters on the scene. I've never met him before, so this is the first time I've met this guy, but I had seen him before in Seth's game. Actually, what was interesting, that Seth's character came to my island and met this guy. And then had him play a bunch of songs which he got, and got to keep. And then you can play those songs in your radios in your house. I know of a request. This is a rare song I read on a fax that you can request from him called I Love You. So let's see what happens. I read this in a fax. If he knows this song.
He'll probably sing the Barney song.
Maybe. That'd be cool if he did.
Maybe.
Oh, check it out.
There you go.
I knew it would work. Let's see what it sounds like. This is creepy too. Turn it up a little, Craig. Oh, he whistles the whole thing.
I don't know.
O-B-O. What is that?
It's like he's trying to hold in the smoke from his marijuana.
That's right. It shows the credits too, obviously, while you do this. This is the only place in the game to see the credits. Which makes sense because this game has no end, so when would you ever see the credits other than here?
That's true, yeah.
I like it when he whistles. Oh, look, it's fall. Lots of doped up Japanese people basically made this game.
Like, yeah.
And this song's almost all whistle. They're not usually like this.
Oh, that was interesting. It has a NES emulator status there.
Localization. Oh, Nintendo of America localization team. They had to localize a lot of dialogue in this game. Holy. So almost everybody says a ton of stuff. Yeah, look at this. All these people just doing the conversion to English. Super Mario Club. In case you didn't know, Animal Crossing is actually the first time any of these games have come out in America, but this is actually called Animal Forest Plus in Japan, and it is the sequel to an N64 game, which has already, was out in Japan at the time.
Which this actually has a little bit of an N64 look to it.
Yeah, I think
out textures.
I believe that Animal Forest Plus was originally going to be an N64 title, but then they held it off and went ahead and made it a GameCube title. It gives me the air check. So now I have that song, and if I want, I can go down here and listen to it, which I'm just going to have barely enough time to do, I think, and then we're going to end the show. Oh, this isn't my house. Sorry. I remember Craig's house is up there in his game, so I was thinking that was it. Mine's a much cooler house.
Because Milo is still Poe.
Poe, yeah. There it is. I got these guys making noise too. The freakoids. That's a freakoid, and that's a beepoid, and that's some other boy.
It looks like a dildoid.
They do. All right, let's go ahead and end it there. I think that's really. Let's end it with dildoid.
There you go. Well, thanks for tuning in to Action Corp. If you did tune in, I did want to say one thing before we break out. We are looking into maybe getting an episode or two on public access SIGICOM here. We should know something about that pretty soon, hopefully in the coming weeks, so maybe you'll see us if you're a SIGICOM subscriber.
You might even see this episode, although we said dildoid,
well,
so maybe
yeah.
not now.
I don't know about that. Might do a little post-editing, but maybe we'll be popping up on
beepoid.
Yeah, Assland got in there a couple times, so maybe we'll be popping up on
Ass is not a bad word. You can say that on television.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Well, then ass. So on that note, I think we're going to be signing off here for Action Corp Television.
Ass. You need some credits. Thank you.